right. Oh, I'm very big in this screen right now. Hello, everyone. Are we on? I think we're on. All right, I'm going to back it up a little. I'm a little close today. A little zoomy action. All righty. So we're just getting set up, folks. Welcome in for our Friday chat, Q&A with Big J. Happy Friday. Happy 17 days till camp. We're going to get some viewers on. We're sharing this out to all our pages. Hopefully the folks who don't have Facebook can use the direct link. If you have a friend who's not on Facebook and is having trouble, just give them this link from this live video and they should be able to view without an account. I am going to try and post this to our website also, and maybe also provide a direct link to the video in our email for folks who can't join us at 12 o'clock on a Friday. I know it's not the best time if you're working. Hopefully it's lunchtime, you get some time, or if you're free. This time works out for us here at the office. It's a little quiet with our operations team taking some lunch and kind of getting our morning going. We're all caught up on our messages and emails, hopefully. If you're still waiting for something, I promise we'll get to you. All right, let's check out my dashboard here. So just waiting for some viewers to come on and then we'll get going. You can throw your comments up in the comments section or in the so we'll chat and we'll answer your questions. We're going to focus today on the new parent guide that we just released. That includes up-to-date information about summer 2021. It also includes a lot of information related to the COVID pandemic that we're still in, but we're really getting close to hopefully to being out of, and not having to worry about that in the future. We're really seeing great things happen and we're getting new guidance every day. We get little updates here and there and we see things happening in other parts of the world and other parts of the economy, so we're staying up to date with that too. So just to share a few things off the bat as folks join us here live. We have released all the information about our electives, soccer, the dance fitness, which is replacing Crew Fit, in case anyone's wondering about Crew Fit. We made our regular dance program part of our normal schedule so that the kids could participate, and then older kids have a little bit of an elective with that if they don't want to participate. So now Crew Fit, we kind of modified last year with Kaboom Kids, the dance fitness side of things, a little bit more accessible for all age groups, better schedule for us, and so that's going to be our fitness program. So Crew Fit is kind of on hiatus as its own program, that CrossFit based program that we did for kids. And then Educamp is closed at this point. We will possibly have a few openings at each campus once camp starts. So we close out registration for Educamp primarily because we need to order the educational materials in advance from the publisher. They send us our workbooks, ordering up all our pencils and our prize stickers and things like that, just to make sure we have it in advance of the camp season. So that's closed for now, but if we do have extra space available, or if anyone drops out, we'll have a waiting list on campus. You'll be able to check in with your campus director about that and go from there. We also released the information about pizza parties every week. It's either going to be Tuesday or Friday, depending on your campus, and that's just based on our schedule and how the other events and trips kind of fell. So you can sign up for that. It's $5 a week. It's up to 2 slices. Once camp starts, you'll be able to tell your staff if you want your kids to have a different, portion for their meal. I know for our kids, 2 slices would be too much, but if you want to do 1, 1.5, or 2, you could do it that way. Participation is optional, of course. It's $5 a week. It's billed based on your weeks at camp. It's if the kids are going to be off campus for any reason, if they have a trip and they can't participate, we won't bill you, of course. But if they're absent from camp, we don't do replacements or things like that. Just keep that in mind. But I'm sure if you talk with your campus director or program director or one of the group leaders. They'll help you out. We are going to be releasing on June 15th the Brown Baggett Gourmet Catering information. That's the company that's doing our a la carte lunch ordering program. So as most of you know, most of our kids brown bag their lunch or reusable bag their lunch from home. And this is a new program we're trying to offer through a really great company, local small business, and they're offering some great menu items. We're going to have the menu published. We're going to let you start signing up starting June 15th. They're just getting their website updated so that our ordering system is set, so our menu is set, and you'll be able to order sandwiches, wraps, salads, and bowls. They do like different types of like chicken and rice and things like that, and all kinds of great styles. So like a Southwest bowl, or they'll do like a Greek salad type bowl, stuff like that. So we're gonna get the specific menu up. We're gonna put the registration link up. You'll be able to order it in advance, and they do recommend ordering in advance. We're actually gonna cut off the ordering the Tuesday of the week prior, so that they have time to get their supplies in order to make sure they can prepare their menus, to make sure they can get all their food items, all the things that go into making this stuff in advance. They can set that up with their suppliers, so it's going to be a week in advance for that. We got our first question. Okay, closed-toed sandals. Great question about this, and also I do have answers to questions from last week too, that folks were asking that we said we would get before we get back on. So closed-toed sandals, when you look at like the different companies like Keen, or you look at other examples of like athletic sandals, if it covers the whole foot and you just have like the heel out in the back but the rest of the foot is covered, I'm okay with that as a rule. I would just check, like if you wear them the first day, just send a pair of sneakers in case, and check with the program director or the campus director. Depending on the activities, the whole idea for sneakers or complete foot protection is safety. It's to protect everyone's feet, because we are going to be playing sports, we are going to be running a lot. We're on hard surfaces, we're on grass, we're on wet surfaces when we do water activities. So I would recommend just checking on campus. Every campus is a little bit different. But in general, if you have those athletic sandals, those closed-toed sandals, those are okay. Anything open-toed, anything that's really a true sandal is not recommended for camp. We really don't want that. Another question coming in, the car placards, you're going to get them on day one or your first day. What will happen is they're going to be pre-printed based on enrollment as of, I believe, next Friday. So once everyone has their enrollments in next Friday, we have some late registrations coming in. We're going to get them all printed up. And then car placards will be at the campuses. So as you arrive, they'll be able to go through their file and they'll be alphabetized. Everyone's going to get 3 car placards. It's going to be a bright orange piece of cardstock, and you can use them in different vehicles. You can share it with family or friends who are picking the kids up. They're going to be used as an identifier at a distance so that we can see it in the window and start getting the kids prepped, but they don't replace photo ID. Keep that in mind, Dana. So that's an important one. Everybody who comes to pick up kids needs to be an authorized adult, and you do that through Camp in Touch, or you fill out that form for authorized adults. So that's anyone over 18 that you approve. But the car placard is just a convenient way to get the kids prepped. Just increases the speed by which we can do dismissal. Alrighty. Yep. So Princess, yeah, you're talking about the right ones. So the athletic sandals with like the little peepholes on the side, those are okay. I don't know all the different brands off the top of my head. Merrell does them. Keen does them. I don't think Chaco does them. The big sandal companies. Some camps, when you go to camp, sandals are okay. For us, we're doing a lot of athletic activity, a lot of moving around. So that's why we want to get full foot protection. Meredith, so the menu's ready, but we don't have it ready for publication yet. So they're just finalizing some things. You don't have to order so far in advance. We're doing a week ahead with the ordering. So it's going to be published June 15th. You have to have your orders in for the first week of camp by June 22nd. So that gives you a week to look at everything and get it, pick what you like. You can order for the whole summer. You can do that. They're not going to accept orders, though, after the week before, just because they have to prep with their suppliers and get everything ordered because we're talking about hundreds of kids ordering lunch. Our staff can order lunch through here, so they really want to make sure we're prepared. They get all their items and make them fresh every day, but they have to order their supplies in advance from their warehouse to get to the. For example, if you're getting 100 turkey sandwiches, you have to know to order 8 turkey breasts or whatever the number is. So that's why. So you haven't missed the ordering thing. We're going to publish it June 15th. We did mention it in the parent guide. It's a small little section by lunch. Also with the pizza day. So that's 2 new programs for this summer we're looking forward to. And I can tell you that, we all sampled the brown baguette stuff. Fantastic stuff. Delicious. Good portion sizes for kids. And really fresh and delicious. So I really encourage you to try that. And affordable too. So Mary has a great question too. So mask requirements. Yeah, we'll go over that. I think it's really important to talk about what the requirements are for camp. They are different than schools. I don't know why, honestly. So here's the deal with masks. We recommend and we want the kids to be in a mask and everyone in the vehicle to be in a mask when you arrive for camp. You're gonna do your daily health check before you arrive. The staff will confirm that it's been done through Campanion or Camp in Touch, and we are gonna send out for everyone looking for Campanion. The app is active. You can download it from any app store. It's called Campanion app, and I'll put that up in the chat in a little bit. And then we're going to do a full release with email and social media and all that kind of stuff early next week. So you can start getting your face finder and everything. We'll get to that in a second. I'm getting off topic here. So masks, daily health check while we're at the car, masks. Okay. Because we're going to be working with staff who are not in our cohort. And vaxxed, unvaxxed staff, all that kind of thing. We are encouraging all of our staff to get vaccinated. They're not required to be vaccinated. So we'll go through that too. So once the kids are in their group, they stay with their group pretty much the whole day. There's really never a reason for them to be out of cohort or stable group. Those are 2 terms that kind of float around. They mean the same thing. A stable group is campers and staff who are together all the time. So they can take their mask off pretty much once they get to their hub. That's their space where they store their gear. They have their morning meeting before they go to assembly. Now we can still do big assemblies. We just have to keep 6 feet apart from other groups. And it's pretty easy at our campuses. We have a ton of space, whether we do assembly outside or we do it in our gymnasiums or our auditoriums. So you don't have to be in a mask if you're in a room, as long as it's big enough and you can separate. And we've done that. We did that last year too, where we had kids out of mask during performances in our gymnasiums outdoors. What's great about it is when you're outdoors, even if you're out of cohort, you don't need a mask at all for campers. Campers don't ever need to wear a mask outside during activity. Just as they're walking into the building in the morning, and again as they're dismissed, we're going to have them put their mask on because they're going to be walking or going to be among other kids. We are going to have masks during extended hour services, so in the morning or afternoon, because all the kids are mixed if they can distance, and we can put them in their cohort in the extended hour space. They can take their mask off. So we're attempting to have them out of masks as much as possible. And then the only other time kids need to wear masks is on the school bus when we go to a trip. That's still a rule. And staff, the rule with staff, just so you know what's going on, they're going to have their mask on. If they're unvaccinated, they have to wear their mask indoors and at arrival dismissal and on the bus. If they're outside and unvaccinated, they can take their mask off when they're 6 feet away from others, which for most activities, if you facilitate a big athletic activity, you can be spaced. Once they need to have close contact with a camper, if there's a first aid situation where they have to have a conversation, they'll put their mask on. So that's for staff. Unvaccinated staff can have their mask off outdoors, indoors, just like campers, indoors when they're with cohort. And then all staff will model appropriate mask wearing when campers have to be in masks. So even if you're a vaccinated staff member, you're going to wear a mask when your campers have to. So I hope that clarifies it. I know it's a lot of different rules, but really the whole goal is that we want people out of mask as much as possible for campers. And then for staff, we're promoting vaccination because you can be out of your mask pretty much the whole day. And all of our staff are of age to be eligible. So we're promoting that. We're doing the Camp Vax with Suffolk County this week, where you can go to different facilities and get your vaccination. So we're promoting that as well. So Mary, I hope that answered it. I hope I didn't confuse it more. If it still needs clarification, let me know. Okay. Let's see. Dana, okay, so not a silly question. So the water bottle we give out, I believe it's 24 ounces. We have two different water bottle models this year because the one from last year that we had extras of was discontinued. So we got a new one this year. They're all blue water bottles. They're all refillable. You don't need to send something else because we can refill at camp now. We have no touch dispensers, so the kids can approach, and it only touches the side of the bottle when they take the cap off, so they don't have to touch. Those are available for the water and for the camp drink mix. So we can refill throughout the day. It's unlimited. So we always refill with ice water, and then with the drink mix, we go through it as fast as we can, make sure the kids are hydrated. And then if we need to reorder during the summer, same thing with sunscreen. Unlimited sunscreen to make sure we're safe, and hydration is definitely part of safety. You're welcome, Mary. So Dana, I hope that answered that. You can refill. You don't have to send in anything extra. Some kids bring in an extra drink for lunch, like a juice box or something like that. Not necessary, because the drink station is usually right next to the lunchroom or cafeteria. But if you want to send something else, you can. Back in the day, I used to bring a frozen water bottle that melted throughout the day so I could have a drink, but it's unnecessary. We even refill before we get on the bus for trips and stuff like that, so should be good with that stuff. Eileen, how often the kids go swimming? So we have a reduced schedule for swimming. Because of the pandemic, the pools have a different schedule and they have different capacities. I'm sure that's going to change, but for now, we have to follow what they're offering. So we're going swimming a total of 5 times. It's once a week for 5 weeks. Same thing with bowling, once a week for 5 weeks. The old schedule we used to follow was twice a week for 5 weeks for each of them. So we've cut that in half this year. We also have a reduced trip schedule. We're promoting outdoor venues. So that's important for us, because some indoor venues still have different restrictions and masking policies. For the indoor venues we are using, they are closed to us while we're there. So that's key to know whenever we're going to an indoor off-campus venue. It's just camps or us, so we can follow our camp policies there with the cohorting and things like that. So swimming once a week for 5 weeks. It's on the calendar with that swimming icon. It's mentioned also in the parent guide. Will Crew Fit be offered this summer? So I mentioned it earlier. Dance Fitness is replacing Crew Fit, which was our fitness program based on the CrossFit model, without the weightlifting, of course. So the schedule worked out better. We had Kershal and his team in last summer 4 times. This summer it'll be 6 weeks, once a week for each campus. And we find it to be more accessible. We find it to be more fun for younger campers as well. Not as intense as Crew Fit used to be. So Crew Fit's been discontinued for now, replaced by Dance Fitness. Our original dance program that used to be elective based is now part of the regular programming. So we didn't lose it, we just modified how it's offered. So dance is offered multiple times a week as a regular activity with our dance instructors at camp. But that's a different type of dance than Dance Fitness. So the Kerboom Kids model is high energy, high impact, like a real workout that you're getting, and it's fantastic. I mean, it incorporates elements of Zumba and things like that too, if you've heard of those programs. So we are offering fitness, just not Crew Fit on that model. So that's that. Dana, can you send peanut butter? Yes, you can send peanut butter. The thing with allergies, we're a highly allergy aware camp, but because campers bring their own lunch, we can't promise that we can restrict everything, and we can't check every lunch at every campus. So we take it from the other side. For any campers that have allergies, we separate their lunches. They're stored separately in our refrigerators. They're in separate containers. We have allergy-free tables. They're not required because of the way we set up our allergen awareness. We can have staff sit with campers at same tables. You'll also find campers are very empathetic, and if they know their friend has an allergy but they want to sit with them at lunch, they won't bring in whatever that is. And I can tell you, my daughter's just one of those people. Like, her friend doesn't have an allergy, but she doesn't like peanut butter, and it kind of grosses her out for some reason. So she's empathetic to that and knows, like, hey, if I want to sit with her, I either have to, sit a couple seats away, or I don't want to bring peanut butter in. But you can send it. You can send anything you like. Everything's refrigerated. There's no restrictions on what you can send except on the container. Don't send a lunchbox or cooler. It won't be put in the fridge. I mean, if you want to do a cooler or a lunchbox, go for it. You just got to put an ice pack in there for the day. But I just recommend a brown bag or a reusable bag. If you're coming to any of our live open houses, that blue bag that you get with your material is a great size for a reusable bag. Princess, we're not doing Chuck E. Cheese this year. Their guidance wasn't updated when we were planning the calendar, so they weren't really open for business as we were planning. Well, I'm sure we'll bring them back as a trip venue. We love going there. They close down for us when we go. but they just weren't prepared when we were trying to book. So we're not doing Chuck E. Cheese this year. Um, but I'm sure that'll be back in the future. We always like to bring back fan favorites. Um, so right, and I know, yeah, we use the one in Hicksville. We use the one in Hempstead. There's one out in West Islip, I believe. Uh, so we do it local. We try to do the trips locally. When there's multiple venues like Little Gym or escape rooms or Chuck E. Cheese or stuff like that, we'll try to go local. For places that only exist in one instance, like Adventureland or the Bronx Zoo or something like that, we're obviously taking a longer trek there, but it's worth it. I mean, the trips planned for this summer are fantastic. And if we can add extras, I know we're adding a movie trip where they're closing down Massapequa Theater for us. Um, and we're going to spend, I think going to see Jungle Cruise, which I was looking forward to. I love that ride at Disney World. And The Rock is a lot of fun. So we'll do that. That'll be a bonus trip that we're adding to the calendar. I'm doing calendar updates early next week. There are a few minor changes, so if you have a current calendar, we're going to update that. I'll let everybody know. Email, we'll post it on social media, and we will finally have all of our descriptions uh, of all the activities. I know we were waiting on that, just refining some stuff, and we're adding on. We're also trying to do a program with the New York Islanders, who, hopefully by then we'll have won the Stanley Cup. That would be amazing. So we're trying to work out a program with them where they come to camp. So some stuff is getting added, so we held off on that, but I will have whatever we have up by next week. Okay, Meredith, question. Soccer and dance, do you, hold on, something's covered, only get charged for the weeks you're there? Yeah, so here's the thing. The only elective that's extra money is soccer. And it's because the salaries for the coaches are pretty high. Some of these are professional soccer players or semi-pro players. And we just need to offset that cost a little bit because it's a very popular program. It's $10 a week once you hit first grade. So first through sixth graders, it's $10 a week. You're only charged the weeks you're there. You don't get charged if you're absent for that one. Dance is free. Dance fitness is free. Educamp is free. So you're not paying for those ones. It's just the soccer, that small $10 a week just to offset, because it's really great instruction. I mean, it's a pretty awesome program. And the kids get a lot out of it, I'll tell you. My girls do it. For Adventureland, assuming other camps and people, no. Oh, so this is great, Katrina. That's a great question. Adventureland's closing for Camps R Us that day. It's actually gonna be amazing. So it's Camp Kindness Day, which is a national event run by American Camp Association. For Camp Kindness Day, we are promoting our yearly food drive with Long Island Cares. That's the Harry Chapin Food Bank. There's a program already running at Adventureland. If you bring a donation, a food item, non-perishable item, you can enter to win a 4-pack of season passes to Adventureland. So everyone who brings a canned food item, you get one entry into the raffle. They're going to pull the winner on July 20th, I think is the date. It's the fourth Tuesday of camp. I don't have it in front of me. Hang on. So we're going to do that. And then Camps R Us is also going to be running that promotion through the beginning of summer, where if you bring a canned food item, we'll also have a raffle, and we're going to match the family 4-pack, 2 adults, 2 kids. It is Tuesday, July 20th. So we'll also have a raffle for that. We'll pull it on July 20th. Representatives from Long Island Cares will be there. I think the news is going to be there to report on our campers and see how much we can raise. We already have our donation boxes ready starting day one of camp, so you can bring stuff day one if you like, and you get, for every item you bring, you get an entry into the raffle. So Adventureland will be doing a family 4-pack as a prize for helping to raise donations and promote this program, and then we'll be doing the same thing through the summer and bring all our raffle tickets that day to Adventureland. So it's pretty great. It's in partnership with, like I said, Long Island Cares, the Helping Hands Foundation, which is Adventureland's fundraising arm, and Camp Kindness Day, which is amazing. So it's going to be all of Camps R Us. All age groups are eligible for the trip. It's one of our included trips. There's no extra charge for it, which is great. And, we're hoping to have every camper, every staff member. Now, keep in mind, everyone, too, in case you didn't know, swimming, bowling, and field trips this year are all optional. We always make field trips optional. You can always opt out. Swimming and bowling is optional this year because of the pandemic, so folks feel comfortable. If they want to send their kids off campus, great. If not, that's great too. So you can opt out of those. The opt-out forms are not live yet. They will go up probably next week, where you can opt out of swimming or bowling, and that's going to be an all or none for the summer. To opt out, you can always opt out at first and then add it back in if you feel comfortable later in the summer. That's fine. For field trips, you're going to opt out of you're going to opt out of the trips as they come. And we'll have a system in place for you to do that online. And you can also do it in person with staff on campus. So if you just want to mention it to them, we just have to have the opt-outs done at least a week before. So that's important to note too. I don't see any more questions so far. So a couple other things that are coming down the road for us. We have a full week of staff training next week. So if anyone's on from our staff or parents of staff members, you have that schedule already. It's Monday to Thursday. We start at 5 o'clock each evening. All of the trainings are at our Farmingdale campus from about 5 to 10 p.m. So we do about 20 hours of training this week. We had a full day event on Saturday, June 5th. And we're also going to be having our on-campus training 2 to 3 days before camp starts. So we do a lot of training. This is when we kind of get the staff up and running and get all our documents and everything prepared for them. So if there's any questions about that, let me know. We are trying to add a few other programs, like I mentioned with the Islanders, with the movie trip. Those are going to come out on the calendar, and we'll let everyone know when that happens. We are going to keep today's session to the 30 minutes, so we have about 5 minutes left. If anyone has other questions, throw them up in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And then we'll post up the video for anybody who missed us today. And I'll also try to get that on our website with a hard link for folks who don't have Facebook. So if there are other questions, go right ahead, and we'll hang out for a bit. All right, here we go. So, pictures. Great question. Katrina, so we have a great system in place. I'll talk a little bit about a Campanion. That's our new app. It's fantastic. So we are going to have, with Campanion, you're going to have something called Photo Stream. Your stream is also a news feed. When we post up news information, we post up videos and photos. When you get Campanion, you want to immediately, as fast as you can, put up a photo of your children, because you need to have their faces loaded up for the Face Finder feature. It's a facial recognition software before camp starts. As we post photos, your kids' tagged photos, whatever they're in, will automatically go to your stream. Then you also have the option to see the pictures in general from the day or from whatever event, and they're all done in albums. So each campus will label it with their campus, and then they'll also label it with what's going on for the day. So wherever the photos were taken, and our staff are going to be doing that daily. That's for Candid Photos Daily. We also have a Candid photographer who comes in, a professional photographer on top of our staff, who on certain special event days will be posting and doing all that stuff too. And then also you'll have, for Picture Day, the portrait system. We're going to release that information next week as well, with how you can sign up for Picture Day. We went all digital last year. It was very popular. You have to sign up in advance. Last year, everybody was photographed by default. This year, you do have to sign up in advance. And you get digital access to all your photos, a couple of different poses with the portraits. You get siblings together, and then you also get a group shot. It's $25. And then you can order a la carte any promotional items or prints that you would like. But you can also take your photos and post them anywhere. It's all part of that package. So yeah, it's all going to go through Campanion. We'll also put up general marketing photos through Facebook, but we're going to start to eliminate the full albums on Facebook. They kind of get too crowded and congested up there. And also, it's probably nice to have it right on your phone, and you can share it right from there. You can post it up and show your friends and family what's going on at camp. And a news feed through there. We're also going to have our one-way text that comes through Campanion. You can also set it up to have push notifications. You can do all your forms through there. It's pretty great, and it's going to be having additional features in the future too. Jolie, great question. The 14 days before. So it's the pre-camp health screening. It's different this year. You're going to monitor your kids' temperatures and their symptoms for the 14 days before your first day. And the night before you come to camp or the morning of, you're going to fill out the pre-camp health screening form. It asks you a bunch of stuff. It's all not mandatory. So for pre-camp health screening, it asks about a vaccine. So if you're eligible and got one, you can put that info in. You don't have to, of course, and every camper's not eligible. We know that. It asks you about COVID symptoms. It asks you if you ever had it. It asks you if you've been in contact with certain people, temperatures, symptoms, all that kind of stuff. That's the pre-camp health screening. It's all online. So that's important to know. You don't need a form. There are other forms that are going up. So you're going to see your camper waiver, your parent attestation. If you're a staff member, a staff waiver. Those have to be printed out and handed in first day of camp. And we'll give you instructions on those. Same as last year. You print it out, fill it out. It just lets you know all the COVID policies and what you need to know, and that just an extra level of security for families and for camp, so that we all know what we're responsible for. As everyone knows, though, we had no cases of COVID last summer. We're very proud of that, and we hope that we're going to have the same this summer, with the numbers being lower and all the same protocols in place that we basically had. Donna, great question. So the lunch menu, I'll put in Campanion in kind of a document, the lunch information. So you'll be able to click a link from there and get to it. It'll also be on the website. It'll also be on social media. You'll get an email. Everywhere I can put it, I'll always try to include information in every resource we have. And then we'll do a micro post on it, which is one of those streaming posts that you would get in Campanion. It'll remind everybody. So that's the app to use. It's the same data that's in your Camp in Touch account. They're linked. So whether you're on a computer and doing Camp in Touch, or you're on Campanion on your phone or tablet, same login, same information. So yeah, that's pretty good. Princess, if I bring a lunchbox, it won't go in the fridge. So here's what I'm going to say. Every campus is a little different with enrollment and with space in the fridge. If they have space in the fridge, they'll put a lunchbox in for you. I mean, we always want to try to do that. So we'll try. If it's a big cooler, like some people bring in these mini igloo coolers and stuff, and it's great, and it's a great product, and we love that stuff, but it's just too big for camp. So, we could, if you have warm food and you need it to stay kind of insulated, you could do an insulated lunch bag. That's fine. Just let the staff know what's going on. I mean, we're all parents, most of us, and if we're not a parent, we're in education or working with children. We know we want to be flexible, and we know how much of a pain it can be to either get brown bags or to get the right size bag, or if you don't want to use a disposable bag to protect the environment. We're all about that too. But it's a great system there. Keeping everything refrigerated. If it needs to stay warm, that's fine. If you need it heated up, we have a microwave at every campus too. So just give the staff instructions. Test it out for dinner or lunch. One day before camp starts, and whatever your home microwave does is what we do. We just can't test it. For it being too hot or cold. So it's a good question. I would say use your judgment. If you have a warm lunch in an insulated bag, you want to keep it warm. I know sometimes we have the little thermos size things for our kids you do a little mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and stuff like that. That's fine too. Just let the staff know, hey, I have a bigger thing, we're not going to refrigerate lunch today. And they're happy to help you. It's pretty great. Okay, so another question. Yeah, we're still going to have Instagram. We're still going to have Facebook. We don't have an Instagram page for every campus, which I'm trying to work on. But we have our main Instagram. We'll still post photos there. It's not going to be as much as it has been in the past. We're not going to use social media as much to do all of our albums, which is the system we had in the past. For a lot of different reasons, but primarily we have an internal app and we can share it with our families and only our families. That just feels a little bit better to us. And then we can, we have permission when you guys sign up for camp. You give us permission for marketing photos and stuff like that. We have a few famous kids who've been in a lot of our recent marketing, and we love it. But now they've all grown up and look different, so it's kind of funny. But nothing major, and we only really use it to promote camp and do it internally. We never share any photos or videos out with the public. But we will keep the social media, just not use it as much. We use Campanion more. Okay. Sports track question. This is great. So if anyone's still interested, sports track is premiering in Syosset, only at the Syosset campus this summer. So if you're at Syosset, you can sign up for that. Grades 3 to 6. It's a sports-focused camp program. So, you're going to be taking a lot of the non-sports programming out of the mix. So that's game room, arts and crafts, the innovations lab, which is our STEAM activities, dance, in favor of more baseball, basketball, soccer, volleyball, chookball. If you don't know what chookball is, it's amazing. It's similar to European handball. And they'll be focused on that. But sports track kids still go swimming and bowling, still have access to trips. I'm actually adding the sports track trips onto the calendar for Syosset. There's 3 of them. which is great. And you know, it's we're premiering at Syosset to test out the program. It's it was the idea of our campus director there, Jessica, and one of our regional directors, Aaron, who came up with this idea for sports track and have really been developing it. We're trying to premiere it at one campus to get it off the ground. It will be offered at other campuses in the future. So if you want to transfer into Syosset, you can. It's a free transfer. You get free extended hours. If you're coming from a different campus, you need that extra time for travel. But they still have the elective access to all the other big camp events, trips, that kind of stuff. So we don't eliminate all that stuff. We just kind of modify most of our regular programming to be sports focused. Yeah, Princess, that's exactly what you do. If you're doing hot lunches, you can write no fridge, tell your staff, if you just tell your counselor or your group leader from day one, hey, listen, I send in a lot of hot lunches, they'll tell you what the system is. You can, tell them in the morning when you do drop off, you can tell them by email and just have a kind of a running standing order. So no worries. Meredith with the labels. So, yeah, let me put up a couple of links here. First, I said I was going to put the companion app. And then the other one, I'll get the link here. Oliver's Labels. You don't have to go through our system. It's in Camp in Touch. But you can just go to Oliver's Labels and then it'll have you search for your camp. So I'll put up the full link here. It's just oliverslabels.com. And you don't have to use Oliver's Labels. There's other companies that do clothing labels. It's any kind of clothing label. And we only recommend it. It's not required. I mean, I've written in Sharpie on my kids' towels, on the tags in their clothes, that kind of stuff. It just helps us to avoid the lost and found, because lost and found is more lost than found in general. It's tough also because you don't get to come into camp this year, so you can't really kind of go through and mix up the stuff and look at it. We try to check it before we put it in lost and found for names and tags and do our best to ask around. If it's highly valuable, we'll keep it in the office. We're not going to throw a pair of headphones in the lost and found. So yeah, that's Oliver's Labels. That's the one we use. If you do it through Camp in Touch, campsareus.campintouch.com, and you can sign it up through there. If you're having trouble, you can call the company directly. They're great. They're up in Canada. It seems like all Canadians are friendly, and they really are. So that's great. Tamika, are there opportunities to chaperone? There are not, unfortunately. So normally, under normal circumstances, when there's no pandemic happening, we allow parents to visit off campus. And you can act as a visitor, and that's any off-campus venue, swimming, bowling, or a field trip. We don't have parents chaperone for two specific reasons. Two. One, we background check all our staff. We don't background check parents. So we need to make sure the kids who are supervising our campers have all those checks in place. There's a federal, state, and county criminal background check for all staff over 18. We do federal and state sex offender registry check on all staff, no matter how old you are. And they also go through a lot of training and a lot of policies that are required by Department of Health, American Camp Association, and so on, which, I know parents can't really do that stuff, but that's why we don't do chaperones. The policies are a little bit different for camps following New York State Department of Health requirements. So you can visit normally. During COVID, we can't visit off campus. Logistically, it's just too much with figuring out numbers and capacities and masking, vaccinated, not vaccinated, all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Tamika. So I totally understand. Even if your background requires a fingerprinting or background check and all that kind of stuff, I totally get it. It's just a policy for us. But thanks for understanding. I appreciate that. I'll tell you, we always want to be extra communicative with parents as far as trips. We'll let you know through the one-way text and the posts on Companion this year about delays, things like that. Anything out of the ordinary, you're going to get a phone call. So, and if you ever want to check in with your kids, you always can. What's actually great about the camp phones this year too is we can do FaceTime and we can do video calls, because all the camps are being set up with mobile phone devices, iPhones. So that's a new feature this year that we had. And also the phone travels with the director. So when we're off site, we can receive phone calls. We can receive calls at any part of the campus. And then also it's great because we can do photos and videos right there to upload so you guys can see your kids through the summer. All right, I just looked up at the time again. We had a lot of great questions. We went over a bit as we tend to do, which is totally cool. I love the questions and comments. If you have any other questions or concerns, always feel free to call us. I'll pop the numbers in there so you have them. We have our fancy toll-free number, and then we also have our local number. We're a 516, but we're Suffolk too. And then I'll also put up the main email. So we share this main email, so it gets routed to the person who can best answer your question. But we do get back to everyone. This time of year, give us at least a day and a half, about 36 hours for email. If you have something urgent, call. If it's super, super urgent and you can't get through on the phone, because we are quite busy. My phone's turned off right now for our video, but normally it'd be ringing off the hook this time of year. You can Facebook message us. You can message us through the Parent Association. Always feel free to tag me. I'll put that in there too. If you tag me, I usually see it within an hour or so at the latest. I'll get back to you. But any of our camp directors can answer questions through the Parent Association too. So we have a lot of different ways to communicate. This is a partnership. We are here to be your kids' summer camp and for you to have peace of mind and know that they're being cared for the best they can. But you need to know what's going on, and we always want to be open about that. So that's what these sessions are for. We're going to get on another one next Friday, right after we're finished with staff training. So we'll try to do another 12 o'clock. That time seems to work out for a bunch of folks, and we'll record them and keep them posted. And, hopefully we'll have some additional information to share. If you have any questions, though, all the contact info is there in our comments. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.